Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Daily Mirror, and this is one of the top stories we've been tracking here on Mirror Now. Days after the central government turned the tables on him, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has set off today on a Bharat Brahman to unite the opposition. His first stop was Kolkata, where he met Mamata Banerjee. The next stop is Mumbai. Now, the aim is to try and cobble up numbers to block the services ordinance in the Rajya Sabha. The NDA is 8 short of a majority in the upper house, and Mr. Kejriwal says this is a test case for opposition unity ahead of 2024. The central government, as you know, reversed the Supreme Court verdict in a way, giving the power to appoint and transfer bureaucrats to the Delhi government by bringing in the services ordinance. However, the ordinance has to be ratified by Parliament within 6 months before it lapses, and the Aam Aadmi Party is hoping that the opposition can unite and block it in the Rajya Sabha. Arvind Kejriwal got a shot in the arm from Mamata Banerjee today, who says she's 100% with AAP on this matter. Listen in.
कि हम किसी ऑफिसर के ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग नहीं कर सकते, अगर कोई ऑफिसर गलत काम करे तो हम उसकी डिसिप्लिनरी प्रोसीडिंग नहीं कर सकते, ये सारी पावर हमसे छीन ली। 8 साल तक दिल्ली के लोगों ने संघर्ष किया, हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए। 8 साल के संघर्ष के बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने हमारे पक्ष में ऑर्डर किया, दिल्ली की जनता जीत गई। लेकिन जैसे ही ऑर्डर आया सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, 1 हफ्ते के बाद इन्होंने ऑर्डिनेंस लाके जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर था उसको उन्होंने पलट दिया, और उस दिन पलटा जिस दिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट वेकेशन पे जा रहा था। इसका मतलब इनके दिल में काला था, इन्हें पता था कि अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट होता तो अगले दिन उसके ऊपर स्टे लग जाता, तो इनका ऑर्डिनेंस गलत है।
डबल इंजन वाला जो गवर्नमेंट बोलता है, एक ट्रैवल इंजन और टेरेबल इंजन बन गया। तो अगर एट्रोसस टेरेबल कुछ चलेगा तो इसको हम लोग का हिम्मत है, इसको लड़ने के लिए जो भी करना है आप कर लो। हम लोग डिसीजन लिया है, हम बीजेपी का खिलाफ में हम लड़ेंगे, हम एक कट्टर रहेंगे। हमारा कुछ नहीं चाहिए, किसी से कुछ नहीं चाहिए, खाली जनता को सेव करना चाहिए, सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी रक्षा करना चाहिए, देश को रक्षा करना चाहिए। आई एम टोटली 100% विथ अरविंद जी मान। What they think that we are their servant. ईगो का एक लिमिट होता है, जो भी मर्जी कर सकता है। हम लोगों को तो ये अभी चिंता है कि कब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ना बदल दे तो क्या ये गवर्नमेंट, क्या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द एजेंसी, बाय द एजेंसी एंड फॉर द एजेंसी, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द बुलडोजर, बाय द बुलडोजर एंड फॉर द बुलडोजर। They want to demolish the constitution. They want to bulldoze the constitution. Even they don't respect the Supreme Court verdict. I am really shocked because I am also a lawyer.
Mamata Banerjee is on board, but by the looks of it, the Congress isn't. Today, the party held a meeting to discuss the matter of supporting the Aam Aadmi Party in the Rajya Sabha, but there is a clear pushback from the Delhi Congress and its leaders. Sandeep Dixit is one of those who is warning and cautioning the Congress party against giving any support to the Aam Aadmi Party. He's joining me on the show. Hi, Sandeep Dixit. Thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. Can I start by asking you what you make of the entire power tussle between the Delhi government and the centre over services in the national capital?
Well, pardon me for using a word, but there is a word in English called a royal mess, and I think that's what it really is. And I think it's a manufactured mess. Unfortunately, it's the whole game started with Delhi government constantly trying to use excuses of the fact that there is a big brother in the Govt of India that is not allowing it to work. And that started as a political strategy by Kejriwal, because Kejriwal has always played this David versus Goliath game. I'm a simple man, I'm an Aam Aadmi, although I can never understand how an income tax officer can be an Aam Aadmi, but that's a separate argument. So it started from that, and that is how, in spite of the fact that all previous governments had actually done adequately well, in fact far better than the Aam Aadmi's performance in governing Delhi. But he kind of let everybody forget that rather decent past of Delhi and got
कि हम किसी ऑफिसर की ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग नहीं कर सकते.
For what? Sandeep, can I then ask you, this is what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying. They are saying that look at the way bureaucrats are behaving with the Aam Aadmi Party ministers. They are not taking the ministers' calls. They are not attending meetings. They are not following orders. They are simply reporting to the LG. In a situation like this, how do you expect any government anywhere in this country to govern? If the bureaucrats are not reporting to you, how will you govern a state?
First of all, I think the facts that he states are entirely wrong. I mean, I cannot give you a kind of a officer by officer account, but what is the relationship between your ability to transfer and post an officer and their ability to deliver? I mean, I remember in Mrs. Sheila Dixit's case, Govt of India used to do most of the important postings. You may have recently seen a tweet by Ajay Makan in which officers were summarily transferred, and yet Delhi government was able to bring the most transformative, revolutionary change in the transport system in Delhi. There were many such cases. There was a case while Congress was in power both at centre and the state, that Mrs. Dixit's principal private secretary, who's considered the closest officer to the chief minister, was transferred overnight without the CM even coming to know. But did it hinder the way Delhi government could work? I don't think so. I think fairly transformative actions were taken in those 15 years, and I don't think you heard a complaint from anywhere. Of course, there will be some tussle, some tiff all the time when there are multiple authorities. But if you enter a situation in which you know there are multiple authorities, you have to understand that there are different ways to work out a multiple authority. Secondly, his statement that officers don't listen to me. Where is it that officers are not listening to you? If there is a system where certain financial files and all only have to go to another authority, and that authority can at times put in a couple of questions and ultimately sanction them back, it's what a delay of what, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, 30 days? How does it really make a difference? For example, let me ask you a question. There's been almost 6-8 months when Delhi doesn't have a Lokpal. That's a delay that Delhi government has done, not Government of India. Is he answerable to that? There have been so many number of posts which have been vacant in the doctors, in the school teachers, and principals in Delhi schools. Has Aam Aadmi Party government been able to fulfill that? And Government of India does not interfere there. So I think this is an obfuscation. This is not the reality. Officers in Delhi have been reporting to Government of India and been reporting to the LG and been reporting to the Home Ministry over a longish period of time. But there is not a single case in which Arvind Kejriwal has been able to show or project that what he is doing honestly, justly and correctly, that has been thwarted by officers. See, there have been cases. For example, if you remember, there was a case in which there was a lot of suspicion that the buses he's ordering, that entire tendering process is enmeshed in corruption. And an inquiry was put to that. In fact, Government of Delhi went forward and then said no to that tender itself. So if you're going to do something wrong and there is a second authority that can catch your wrongdoing before it happens, then you can't complain.
Mr. Dixit, my last question to you then stems from what you've just said. Has the Congress party decided whether it is going to support the Aam Aadmi Party in the Rajya Sabha over the ordinance? Because the Aam Aadmi Party is calling this the test case of opposition unity ahead of 2024. Now, I understand that the Delhi unit and the central unit of the Congress might have a difference of opinion, but its decisions still will have to be ultimately taken. Can you tell me which way the Congress party is tilting?
Well, what our national leadership is finally decided, I can't say. But in fact, I can make a couple of points, and I'm making them through your channel, both to my national leadership, and if they ask me, I'll do the same thing. See, first of all, this has got nothing to do with any test for opposition unity. Aam Aadmi Party is a minuscule party. It is there in 1 or 2 states. And it is this very party that has had no adherence to opposition unity. Where was this issue of opposition unity and defeating the BJP when they were busy lambasting the Congress and working in alliance with the BJP in Goa? What about the case in Uttarakhand? What about the fact that they abused us in Himachal? They did the same against us in Karnataka. They're doing the same in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. So when it comes to Aam Aadmi Party and furthering their own prospects, which starts with abusing the Congress in the most vile manner, then he doesn't have any problem with opposition unity. When he goes to public and says that Mrs. Gandhi should be arrested, then he doesn't have any issue with regard to opposition unity. Because the issue of opposition unity against the kind of BJP that there is not something that has just come up. It was there before 2019 also. It is there now also. It's been there in the last 4 or 5 years. Today, since the news of corruption is coming around his neck, he's found out that officers may squeal against him. It is now that he's having a problem. And I just want to ask one simple question. See, it is the same Kejriwal, if you remember in 2013, 2012, when he was a Lokpal hero, he used to say that the vigilance departments should never come under the governments whom they investigate. Then why is he first of all asking for a vigilance department under him? And why is it that the vigilance officer was the first officer that he got changed, and this vigilance officer is the same officer who's conducting inquiries against him? Whether you like an inquiry or not, whether you believe in its outcome or not, is not the important part. The important part is the only department he wanted to interfere in was the vigilance department, which shows that his own game is to save his neck. It has nothing to do with the charade of opposition unity.
Okay. Clearly, you don't seem to be in favor of the Congress party supporting the Aam Aadmi Party in the Rajya Sabha to block the ordinance. We leave it there for the moment. We are officially to hear from the Central Congress leadership. Thank you, Mr. Dixit, for joining us. Let me go straight across to my colleague Pulkit, who's the one who tracks the Aam Aadmi Party for us. Pulkit, आज आम आदमी पार्टी के सचिव अरविंद केजरीवाल निकल तो चुके हैं ऑपोजिशन यूनिटी जुटाने के लिए और उनको सपोर्ट मिल गया है ममता बनर्जी का, लेकिन आज ही कांग्रेस के कई बड़े नेता हैं, सिर्फ संदीप दीक्षित नहीं, आज हमने अजय माकन की भी बात सुनी। दोनों कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस की जो लीडरशिप है सेंटर में, उनको बिल्कुल ये सोचना भी नहीं चाहिए कि वो आम आदमी पार्टी को सपोर्ट करें राज्यसभा में, क्योंकि दीज आर अ ग्रुप ऑफ बैकस्टैबर्स। जब इनका मतलब आता है तब ये कांग्रेस की टांग काटने में लगे रहते हैं और आज कांग्रेस से सपोर्ट मांग रहे हैं ऑपोजिशन यूनिटी के नाम पे।
देखिए, यही चुनौती है अरविंद केजरीवाल के सामने और यही वजह है कि नीतीश कुमार जब अरविंद केजरीवाल से मिलने उनके घर पहुंचे थे तो इन्होंने 2024 से पहले का सेमीफाइनल इसे बताया था अरविंद केजरीवाल ने, ताकि नीतीश कुमार, ममता बनर्जी, उद्धव ठाकरे, शरद पवार और तेजस्वी यादव, ये तमाम लोग कांग्रेस को ये समझाएं कि वो इस मुद्दे पर आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ में आए। लेकिन अभी तक ये तय नहीं है कि कांग्रेस के जो बड़े नेता है मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे, उनसे अरविंद केजरीवाल की मुलाकात होगी या नहीं होगी। इस मुद्दे पर अभी तक कोई टाइम भी फिक्स नहीं है। अरविंद केजरीवाल का टाइम जिन जिन लोगों से फिक्स हुआ है वो असल में अगर हम समझें तो अरविंद केजरीवाल के साथ बीच बीच में मिलने वाले नेता हैं जो लगातार अरविंद केजरीवाल के संपर्क में रहते हैं। लेकिन उनमें कांग्रेस एक ऐसी पार्टी है जो अगर अरविंद केजरीवाल का सपोर्ट करती है तो ये वाकई में एक नया होगा। हालांकि पिछले कुछ दिनों में आम आदमी पार्टी ने कांग्रेस के मुद्दे पर उनका समर्थन किया है ताकि ये जो बीच में खटास है दोनों पार्टियों के बीच में थोड़ी कम हो। इसलिए जब राहुल गांधी का संसदीय उनसे ली गई थी तो इस मुद्दे पर अरविंद केजरीवाल और आम आदमी पार्टी ने जमकर उनके फेवर में मुहिम चलाई थी। लेकिन अब ये देखना होगा कि क्या अरविंद केजरीवाल कांग्रेस को इस मुद्दे पर अपने करीब ला पाएंगे या नहीं, जो कि अभी तक बहुत मुश्किल लग रहा है।